What will be the impact if the Obama sequester is unleashed? What will be the Republican strategy to deal with the political fallout? Joining us now is Congressman Nunes, member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the Intelligence Committee. Congressman, great to have you with us.
Always a pleasure, Lou.
I mean, we're sitting here 7 hours, about 7 hours, about 7 days and about 6 hours away from sequester. And it doesn't seem as if anybody's taking this very seriously. I mean, we've had the op-ed from the speaker. We've had a little bit of discussion about it amongst Republicans. But what's going to happen here?
Well, I'm actually in my district today and actually received a frantic phone call from a lady who works for the USDA. She's a meat inspector. Thinking that she's going to lose her job and wondering how food's going to get cleared to get into the grocery stores. This is really a president who doesn't want to make any cuts. And look, this is not the right way to make cuts, but thank God we're finally making cuts. And the American people need to get used to this. And because if we don't make cuts now, the American people will find out what real austerity measures really are. And all you have to do is look to Europe for that, where guys are getting their paychecks cut by 33–40%. So this is a president who's just continues to campaign, and I'm very concerned about it because we have to make a lot more cuts than this.
A lot of cuts, but these are automatic, arbitrary cuts. 800,000 people, the president says, will be furloughed, as I said at the onset of this broadcast. We have a president who's sending out his entire administration trying to scare the dickens out of people over a 2% reduction in spending.
Right, and who knows where they come up with these numbers, right? I mean, they just pull numbers out of the sky. So I don't put any credibility in the numbers that they're using. And let's not forget that we already have an economy that is in the decline. And the president has yet to show how we're going to grow our way out of this mess. And look, we've already thrown money at this problem. We've spent trillions upon trillions of dollars, supposedly in the name of job creation. And I don't see that's worked. So now we're going to have to make cuts. This is the first of many. This is not the right way to do it. I'm especially concerned about how we handle this with the Department of Defense. But perhaps we can come back after the sequester takes place, maybe pass specifically small bills like dealing with the defense appropriations bill, maybe the military construction bill, that will give the Pentagon some capability to make and prioritize the changes that need to be made to make the cuts.
The president's popularity far surpasses that of Congress, both houses of Congress, the House and the Senate. This is a difficult position, obviously, for the Republicans. You're talking about a woman calling up concerned about her job. I would presume 800,000 people are worried about their jobs. We know that there will be rolling weekly one-day furloughs for those folks. We know that they can't start for a while because the Warren Act doesn't even kick in here. The notices are only now going out, so there's a lot of gamesmanship. But this is no way to run a government. And frankly, Congressman, I've got to say to you, I'm extraordinarily disappointed in both the president and the leadership of your party because this is utterly irresponsible behavior on the part of this president, as I said, and the leaders of both houses of our Congress.
Well, it was the only way that they could come up with an agreement. Look, I thought it was kind of goofy to begin with to create a super committee. That's why I didn't vote for it. But the bottom line is that no one wants to get specific on cuts. I got to stop you. I got to say good for you, because that super committee is one of the dumbest things that's ever been pulled. You talk about what happens when a committee comes up with an idea, a super committee. Brilliant. Right. Yeah, it was dumb from the beginning, but look, that was the only thing the president could agree with. I want to expand on one point that you made, Lou,
Please.
And that is that this idea that the president can win. Well, of course, the president can win each one of these little arguments. And he can win these little paper cut fights because he can put all of his administration out there. He's got a larger majority in the Senate than he had before. So there's no question that tactically he can win. But strategically here, at the end of the day, the economy's got to grow. So, people can blame the last 4 years on George W. Bush. They can reelect this guy. But you know what? Things are going to get tougher and tougher for him as he continues to win the little paper cut battles, but the economy doesn't grow. He's going to be to blame.
Congressman, I'm with you up to a point, and then I hear you saying win. This should be about the national interest. This should be about the nation and the correct leadership and direction for this government. And I'm afraid that's been lost in all of this.
Well, I'm afraid, Lou, that this is a president who really could go down in history as one of the best presidents, but he's deciding deliberately not to do that. He could come, work with the Republicans to make cuts to this government, to balance the budget. And I think he's campaigning for one thing, and that is that he wants to win in 2014. When I say he wants the Republicans to be kicked out of the House so he can put Nancy Pelosi back in as Speaker.
Right.
And what I'm here today telling you is that, tactically he can get all these little victories, but overall, if the economy doesn't grow, the American people don't win, as you point out, and he's not going to win.
Congressman, always good to talk with you. Thanks for being here. Congressman
Thank you, Lou.
Nunes. Time for our poll.